theory that you can test. We've tested evolution in many ways. You can't present a good evidence that evolution is not a fact. Bill Nye.
Paleontologists are responsible for evidence found through fossils. Other biologists are discovering molecular comparisons between organisms that support evolution. Underlying similarities and differences among organisms' physical structures demonstrates how different organisms and species can strive in different environments. Strong evidence comes from biogeography. Evolutionists study the distribution among organisms around the planet. From all of this evidence of evolution, we are able to explain the diversity of life.
Fossils are the remaining traces of animals, plants, and other organisms. Paleontologists use fossils to examine how species have evolved through their physical structures. The equus, or grazing horse, roamed around the open plains 5 million years ago and was adapted for speed and possessed long, streamlined limbs ending in a single toe. The equus was the first modern ancestor of today's horses and the modern zebra. The Toxodon was found by Charles Darwin in Argentina and labeled as one of the strangest animals ever discovered. The Toxodon belonged to a group of herbivorous mammals called non-tongullates that evolved similar to horses, camels, and tapirs. Both of these extinct organisms demonstrate divergent evolution, which is when differences between groups of species lead to the formation of new species.
North and South America had different versions of cats, dogs, weasels, and shrews. When the continents attached 2.5 million years ago, each type of species had to compete for survival.
Bonobos are a prime example of how biogeography impacts evolution of species. Bonobos are relatives of the chimp family. These bonobos and chimps are found on opposite sides of the Congo River. Chimps behaved more aggressively because they had to compete with other species for food. Bonobos, on the other hand, were not as aggressive since their side of the river wasn't as competitive. This resulted in behavioral differences due to biogeography.
By examining the DNA of organisms, scientists can determine where species have changed and that they share a common ancestor. Genes differ among species, but they also can produce proteins that are essential for the cell to function. Through natural selection, if bad mutations occur, then they will be eliminated soon as they arise. Scientists can also find DNA within fossils. Fossil genes provide strong evidence that current species are related to ancestors through the process of descent with modification. As humans, we share 99% of the same DNA as chimps. This statistic tells us that the chimps are our distant relatives.
In a human skeleton, we see various bones held together with joints to create the strong structure of the human body. In a chimpanzee, we see a similar structure in the body form and types of bones present. Birds from different parts of the world have evolved to have wings due to their selection pressures in their environment. Even though other parts of their anatomy are different, these birds are common in their wing structure due to evolution. Evolution is present in many different forms of biology, such as fossils, biogeography, DNA, and anatomy. Without such evidence, we would have no right to believe evolution occurred, but because we know this evidence is a fact, we can then conclude that evolution is an ongoing occurrence.